What's up, guys? It's been a long time since I came on here and made a video, but I just wanted to come on and just talk to you guys about what's been going on. I'm sure a lot of you guys are losing your mind and just freaking out. You know, Bitcoin hit $64,000 back in February or something like that, and we've been chopping sideways, and then lately we've been declining, and now we're at about $34,000. Now, a lot of you guys are wondering what's going on, and I'll tell you exactly what's going on. Okay, every bull market has corrections, right? The previous bull market, the one before this in 2017, there were five different corrections, each one of them over 40%. So we dropped 40% from the top. And then, of course, we continue to rally and we went make higher highs, and then we just keep making new all-time highs. This time, this is what I think happened, and I'm pretty positive this is exactly what happened. Okay, the market was facing weakness, right? We were going to go through our first correction of the bull market. When we hit 64K, we started showing weakness. So we started correcting, right? Just a little bit, just a little bit. However, while we were correcting, while the market structure was already looking bad, right? As far as like we're going to get a decline, something happened in China, right? The Communist Party, they decided, you know what, we're going to ban Bitcoin mining. And keep in mind, they've been saying this for a long time. They've been saying this ever since 2011. They've been threatening to ban Bitcoin for a long time, and they always been kind of like iffy about it, right? They'll say it and they'll go back on their words and they'll be like, whatever, who cares? And then every bull run, they'll get threatened, they'll feel threatened, and then they'll restart the process again. Like, oh, we're gonna ban Bitcoin mining. We're gonna get rid of all these Bitcoin mining equipment, all of these ASIC chips, all of these companies, all of these people, these individuals, these businesses. We're just gonna ban all things related to Bitcoin. No banks can process transaction that involves cryptocurrency, all that shit. So this time, they actually went through with it. They actually legit followed through, right? So what they did was they put out a ban, and of course, before they put out this ban, there were a lot of insider information. A lot of people knew about it, you know, within the country, and therefore they started selling their coins from the top. And these are probably whales, you know. These are some people that had a lot of Bitcoin to sell, and they end up selling at the top, creating this cascading effect where, because the market was kind of over leveraged because of the people that was trading and all that, it started just trickling down, trickling down. It started hitting people's stop losses, and just it was a negative feedback loop. Okay, before the news even came out, like that alone was already a catalyst. So when the news finally came out, if you guys remember, China came out with the news saying we're going to ban all Bitcoin mining, the same time as Elon Musk started tweeting about, oh, we will no longer accept Bitcoin for, you know, transactions because it's bad for the environment. I don't think it's a coincidence. The timing, I think he knew what was going on. I think there's a lot more below the surface. We're not going to get into all that. That's going to make the video way too long. But basically, that's what happened, okay? So it was the combination of China banning Bitcoin mining along with Elon Musk all of a sudden changing his stance on whether or not Bitcoin is clean enough energy-wise for Tesla to accept it, right? So both of those things combined created this negative feedback loop and caused us to decline, I think, more than 50%, right? We draw back so from 64,000 all the way to like 29,000, and now we're hovering at 33,000. And to be honest with you, look, the fact that we're still above $30,000 per Bitcoin, to me, is pretty amazing, because if you think about it, on the list of all the things that could happen to Bitcoin, that could be all the attacks that could happen to Bitcoin, China banning Bitcoin and really going through with it is probably up there. I think probably the only things that could be worse than this is if Bitcoin itself got hacked, and that's of course never happened before, or the United States banned Bitcoin. Like, that's how big this news is, this China ban. You got to understand, this is not just some small country. This is China, you know, one of the biggest countries in the world, and they have the most mining power when it comes to Bitcoin. They control that shit. They had the monopoly on Bitcoin mining. They had it really good, you know, for the time being. That's why whenever you talk to people, right, these supposedly rich institutions or the people that's, you know, doubts Bitcoin, the people that, got shit to say about Bitcoin, there's always the two main categories. I mean, the two main arguments they always bring up. One, oh, Bitcoin is controlled by China. If China ever decide to ban Bitcoin, you guys are screwed, right? That's one. Two, Bitcoin is bad for the environment. Now let's look at what just happened, okay? China banning Bitcoin effectively, ultimately, that killed two birds with one stone. What that does is it's going to eliminate both of those arguments from the future forward. There's nobody else that can say that China control Bitcoin anymore. You can't. They literally shut everything down. They all of their hash power. We lost like half of our hash power, our security of the Bitcoin network. Half of the miners literally went offline because of China. They had to ship their chips out to different countries, and now they're going to move on to different countries, and they're going to open up their mining business back somewhere else where they're welcome, right? Because the Communist Party of China don't want them there, so they're like, okay, that's fine. We'll go to El Salvador, we'll go to Texas, we'll go Ohio, we'll go to Iceland, we'll go to fucking Siberia. That's the problem with trying to ban Bitcoin. Like I talked about this in another video. You cannot ban Bitcoin. Why? Because it's decentralized. There's no head of the snake to cut off. You can try to ban yourself from Bitcoin, meaning you can implement a ban across your entire nation. Oh, we're not going to allow that here. But guess what? They're just gonna move. It's really easy for them to move. It doesn't, it's not like moving these big bulky equipments like the mining chips, the mining ASIC equipment is like that big, It's not a big deal. That's what they've been doing. They've been moving everything out of China for the past few weeks, right? Now, of course, short term, yeah, there's gonna be pain. That's why we saw the decline. We saw, over 50%, correction in the price of Bitcoin. And we saw half of our hash rate security mining network went offline. So that's the short-term pain. Now let's look at the long-term perspective here, okay? Like I said, with this happening, what that does is it single-handedly killed two birds with one stone. Now, the two biggest arguments against Bitcoin is pretty much out the window. One, China controls Bitcoin. That's done. China already did everything they could to destroy Bitcoin. They banned it. They literally went through with it. And if Bitcoin survives from here on out, and not only survive, if Bitcoin continues to thrive from here on out, what does that say to people? They're gonna be like, man, what the fuck? I thought China controlled Bitcoin, but look, they banned it. They literally banned it. They forced everyone to shut down their mining businesses and ship all the equipment outside the country. And this thing, it just won't die. This Bitcoin thing just won't die. And it keeps going higher and it keeps getting stronger day by day. Man, what the fuck, right? That's the first argument. The second argument is that Bitcoin is bad for the environment. Now, the majority of the power of the mining networks within China, they use coal. So coal is really bad for the environment. Everywhere else, most of it is done by hydroelectric, renewable energy, flare gas, for example, El Salvador now, they're trying to harness the power of volcanoes in order to mine Bitcoin. These are all natural, renewable, and clean energy that they're using to mine Bitcoin. So now we're moving towards, whereas before it was like 40% of renewable energy in the total of the Bitcoin mining, energy abundance, whatever, right? But now that China shut that down, the majority of the coal power miners that reside within China, they can no longer do that anymore. Now they got to go to a different country. And when they do that, they have to find new, clean, renewable energy in order to be competitive with the rest of the world. So now it's moving from I don't know, maybe 40% clean, renewable energy. Now it's going to be like 75%. So as you can see, short term, we're going to experience some pain, right? We're going to experience like, oh man, China just banned Bitcoin. We better sell our shit to people that don't know what they're doing, right? Oh, we're going to sell because China's banning it. But long term, this is great for Bitcoin. Like you couldn't ask for a better playbook. Like if you ask me to play this out the way I would want this to play out for Bitcoin longevity, I would do exactly this. I would say, let China ban Bitcoin, right? Let us move all of the miners out of Bitcoin, go somewhere else in different parts of the world. So now it's even more decentralized, it's even more spread out, more more, less focus in one country. So then nobody can even say that anymore. They can't say that China controls Bitcoin anymore. So with that being said, it's more decentralized now. The mining network is way cleaner, way more renewable energy, and no single nation can effectively shut down half of the mining power, which is what China had over Bitcoin for a very long time. They shot themselves in the foot. It's basically what they did, right? They monopolized the entire industry. They wouldn't even sell the ASIC chips, which is used to mine Bitcoin. They wouldn't even sell it to anyone else outside the country. And you can't even buy it. Like, it's literally that high demand and low in supply. So by them doing this, they just cost themselves literally a few trillion dollars worth is a mistake. It's a huge mistake on their part. And it's going to be a blunder for the ages. We're going to look back in the history book and say, wow, China really fucked this one up. But the fucked up part is, like I said, they thought that they're going to kill Bitcoin. They thought that what they're doing is going to, because they felt threatened, right? They want to create their own CBDC, which is central bank digital currency. They want to create their own digital yuan because they want to monitor and surveil everyone's transaction. They don't want to use cash anymore. They want to control the money flow even more so than before. So they're going to create their own cryptocurrency, right? But it's all garbage. So then now they feel threatened by Bitcoin. So what they did, they thought that was going to destroy Bitcoin. But little do they know, Satoshi had all of this in mind when he designed Bitcoin. He checkmated the entire system. And when I say the entire system, I mean every government all around the world. He had already thought of every scenario. I don't know how he does it. It's amazing what he did. Okay, so anyways, yes, Satoshi, it's been 12 years. He stepped away from the project. He just let Bitcoin grow on his own. There's no leader. There's no head of the snake. There's no one to go and call out in court to try to subpoena. There's no one. And to this day, they still can't beat him. They still don't know how to outsmart him. And that's the genius. That's the genius behind the person that created the Bitcoin. So let's talk about what happened yesterday. Now that you know that that's what happened with China, they shut down half of the entire Bitcoin's mining power, network, right? So let's talk about what that means. Bitcoin has this thing called the difficulty adjustment, right? When pretty much it kind of like self-diagnose its own network, right? It's almost like a troubleshoot. Like Bitcoin will go and be and see that, okay, half the mining power went offline. So now what does that mean? That means that they have to adjust the difficulty in order to mine the Bitcoin down, lower. This is a very complicated concept, and it's gonna take a whole nother video to explain. But basically, it happened yesterday when the Bitcoin network self-diagnosed and pretty much treated itself for what just happened with China. So then now, what it does is basically just shrug off what just happened with China. Bitcoin just doesn't care. It continues to move forward. It continues to live. It continues to thrive. And there's nothing you can do about it. And this is only going to show the rest of the world how strong Bitcoin really is, because they're going to see that, man, we thought China was the biggest threat to Bitcoin. But now look what just happened. China just played its ace. They played their final card. They did everything they could. But to no avail, because Bitcoin's still here, it's stronger than ever. It just resisted a nation state attack. It's major, guys. It's no longer, we're not playing a little league anymore. Now we're playing nation states. And as you can see, while China's banning Bitcoin, we got countries like El Salvador that's adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. So that's the thing about Bitcoin. That's what's so beautiful about it. You can't kill it, because if one nation decided to go against it, another nation's just gonna adopt it, because they're gonna pick up the slack. They're gonna see, well, if you don't want those revenue, you don't want those profit from mining, we'll take it. Fuck it, come over here. And those miners just gonna move. They're just gonna move. You can't stop them. You can't stop them, literally. And that's the beauty behind Bitcoin. No matter what you do, you cannot ban Bitcoin. You can only ban yourself from Bitcoin. You can't ban the rest of the world. The only way you can destroy Bitcoin is if every single computer in the world shuts off forever. If the internet itself shuts off forever all around the globe and never comes back on, that's the only way Bitcoin will die, because Bitcoin lives on the internet and there's nothing you can do about it. It's not like Ethereum where you can just pull out the CEO, Vitalik Buterin, and just put him in court and be like, hey, shut that shit down right now. And it doesn't matter. He has to shut it down. It doesn't matter. because he controls it, right? Same with like Cardano. You got Charles Hoskinson. You can just pull that guy out in front of court and he'll be done. And that's the beauty about Bitcoin. There's no one. Satoshi Nakamoto walked away, and that's the genius behind it. Is that not only did he invent this thing, he walked away from it, and no one else can do that because pride, ego. You created this revolutionary, world-changing technology. Why wouldn't you take credit for it? Why wouldn't you want to be praised for it? Why wouldn't you want to go down in history in the Nobel Prize, winning all these awards, for humanitarian? Like, why wouldn't you want all that? Only Satoshi Nakamoto. Not only did he not even use his real name, no one even know who he is. He just walked away. He walked away and he never returned. He never came back to claim it, anything. And that's another special thing about Bitcoin that these shit coins will never ever be able to compete with. And so there, guys, that's pretty much what I have to say about it. As far as what's gonna happen, nothing. I think Bitcoin's gonna become even stronger, and I think that what just happened with Bitcoin with China, it's only gonna further, reinforce the case for everyone around the world. They're gonna see now that Bitcoin is truly anti-fragile. You can't kill it. You can't destroy it, even if you want China. China, one of the most powerful nations in the world, that had the monopoly on Bitcoin mining, that everybody thought was, if China ever decided to ban Bitcoin, Bitcoin's done for. Well, it happened. It happened. And Bitcoin just shrugged it off like nothing. Literally just, okay, moving on to the next. And every other nation that adopts Bitcoin, that embraces Bitcoin, is going to benefit from that. They're going to benefit from the revenue. They're going to benefit from billions of dollars every year of mining, of tax revenue and all that. Hey, you're lost, China. You shot yourself in the foot with that one. And, history book will be written, and they will look back and say, wow, you guys really fucking dropped the ball on this one. Stay safe, guys. Bitcoin to the fucking moon.